Okay, I'm reading comments because I haven't read comments in a few days. And there is a ton of comments about declawing. A ton of comments. A lot of people who are very misinformed about declawing. And it looks like I'm going to have to be the voice of reason, because what's happened is either people have heard some stuff about declawing, about how they cut off the cat's fingers, essentially. You know, so the cats have the fingers and it's cut off at the knuckle, so it's like losing this part of your finger. People that didn't know that are reading that from other comments and being like, oh gosh, this sounds terrible. And then there's, people that are like, we know that it's your decision, but please don't declaw the cats, it hurts the cats. Okay. We need to discuss this now, because I don't want anyone watching the vlogs to think that we would do that. We would cut the cat's fingers off and hurt the cats in any way. We love the cats. The cats are a member of the family, and if I thought that it was going to in any way hurt the cat, harm the cat, I would not have it done. Here's the deal. What the comments and what some of you are thinking is true. That is a method of, there's several methods, of declawing the cats. That's actually commonly referred to as the guillotine method, which they really shouldn't call it that because it sounds awful, but it's true. What they do is they pretty much just hack off the end of the fingers of the cat. That is a very archaic and what I find pretty inhumane way of declawing a cat. And you can do it. And you basically just cut off their fingers, essentially, where the nails are at this little knuckle part. That's essentially what it is. It's not very expensive to have done. I mean, it's still like $150 or something to have done. But our vet doesn't do that. They will not do that because they find it inhumane. We go to a good vet. The way we will have it done, if we choose to have it done, which is likely, is they actually have a surgeon go in and remove very, very carefully the only part they need. They do not hack off the end of the finger. They go in and they surgically remove just the exact amount that they need, which is essentially just the nail, and the finger stays intact. The benefits to doing this: the cat just keeps all their fingers. It doesn't hurt the cat. The only thing that's missing are their nails. They just don't have the nails, which is good because our furniture stays intact, we don't bleed as much, and they will go to the vet less for infections because they're scratching the piss out of each other. So you have to understand, I mean, even the vet recommended that if they're going to fight this hard, that it might be in our best interest to declaw the cats. But I had to make this vlog because I haven't been keeping up with the comments because we've been so busy, and I read them and it's like, oh god, people are going to think we're terrible people. We're not. I promise you we're not. If this was the only method where they cut off the fingers, I don't think I could do that. This same vet that we go to now did Rocco's declawing when he was a kitten, and they had the same ideology back then. They did not believe in cutting off the end of the fingers. They think that's inhumane, because I think it is too. They did the surgery, and the downside is that it's very expensive. It's going to cost a lot of friggin' money to get the cats declawed, but it doesn't hurt them. They keep their fingers, and it's like nothing has changed, but they don't have the use of their claws. Now, some people have said, well, that's how they climb. You need to keep that so they can climb. Climb what? Climb what? Look around. Look around. The only thing that we would have that they could possibly climb would be curtains, which we don't want them to climb. Everything else, they can't climb wood. Their nails aren't going to help them get up wood. Also, we don't want them on there. And some other people said to defend themselves. Once again, from what? They are completely indoor cats. So, and they're not going to need to defend themselves from each other because neither of them would have claws. So that would be good. They'll pretty much just smack each other around, which would be much better for play. I mean, they can still bite each other, and I'm hoping that as they get older, they won't do that as much. But I had to make this vlog. Oh my god, I've been reading the comments, and there's just so many people that were horrified that we would even think about declawing the cats. And I have to admit that I was once like you. That's what I thought. There was this one method where they cut off the cat's fingers, and it was terrible. And when we first got the cats, we were really against it. But as time went on, and we saw how not only they were treating some of the furniture, because some of the furniture started to get tore up because of the claws. It's like, that couch ain't doing so well. And it's not that I value the furniture over the cats, because we could replace the furniture. It's just that it would be cheaper to declaw the cats, which I'm okay with, knowing that it's not going to harm the cats. It's pretty much what it comes down to. I love the cats very much. They're very sweet, and I don't think it's going to affect them. Also, they started teething. You can see that they love biting cardboard now. I just don't think it's going to affect them. And the reason I think that is because I've lived with Rocco for 6 years, and I watched him, and he was fine. I was there the day we took him to the vet to get declawed. I was there the day we picked him up, and I watched him, and he was fine. He was absolutely fine. So this is a more expensive method. It takes a very skilled hand. They go in there and they do it manually, and that's why it's so much more expensive, is because they have to do it by hand and be very careful, because they're only removing what they need, as opposed to just going in there and be like, chink, done. There's actually another method. There's a laser method where they use lasers to actually remove the claws, which is cool. But I talked to the vet, and they said that they don't do it, and the reason they don't do it is because there's been instances where they've actually, people have burned the tissue around the fingers, and then the cat has limited feeling, or it hurts the cat, and they're not about that. We go to a really nice vet, by the way. There's a lot of freaking vets in the area, a lot, and we by far go to one that's probably most expensive. And it's something that I really wish we didn't have to pay so much money, but we very much value the life and the health of the animals. So I just want to throw all that out, because this was really important. You guys needed to hear this, because there's too many comments that I don't know. I guess whenever I said it earlier, I didn't think about the fact that not everyone knows there are alternative methods to declawing cats, and it's not as archaic and inhumane as you may think. Certainly there's methods that are, but we would be going a different route. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end it here, because this was all I really wanted to talk about today, and I hope that you guys are good now, and you won't think that we're terrible owners, because we're not. We're really not. We are thinking of the best interest for the cats, and this is not only about the furniture. This is about the cats. We don't want the cats hitting each other and causing each other infection. You saw how sick Kepler was. That was because Sagan attacked him. Probably Kepler's fault in the beginning. Kepler was probably playing with him hard, and Sagan was like, get off me, and hit him. And while, yes, that can come from bite marks, it can also come from scratches, and it would probably be in their best interest, not only for our furniture, but for their health, if we declawed them. So it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Now that I think information has been shared. Anyway, I've got recording to do. I hope this clears up some information. If you have questions about it, or you have comments, obviously leave them below. I will definitely read them. And with all that being said, let's meet back tomorrow, shall we? Oh, and I wanted to throw out one last thing, because there were people that were recommending something called soft paws, which they're like little plastic caps you put on the end of your cat's claws. And I just wanted to show. Stop moving for a minute, buddy. See that little thing? That's actually a soft paw. Probably the third day that we had them, we had bought soft paws, and we put one on Kepler just to kind of test it out. It was kind of a nightmare putting on. He did not like it, and he has not been a big fan of it on him. And I guess you could argue that if he had all of them on there, it would be different. But I just wanted to throw this out, because I know people have said about trying to use them. Downside to using them, they last about a month. They're pretty expensive. It's about $15 for a pack of them, and if you have to replace them every month, you're looking at $150 a year per cat. That's $300 a year for both cats. $300 a year for both cats. I mean, at that price, since we're going to have them for 15 years, it's more cost effective to declaw them. And you can understand our reasoning that if it's not going to hurt the cats to declaw them, it would be in our best interest to declaw them. Also, for the record, we haven't decided if we're going to declaw the cats, so all of this is kind of moot. But I just wanted to bring this to your attention. So we did try soft paws. I mean, we tried one, and they weren't big fans of it. Also, it's expensive, so just wanted to throw that out there. Okay, now I'll really end the vlog.